This country wasn't built for us, and those of us who it wasn't built for know this incredibly clearly, but it feels like it took 2020 for the rest of this country and the world to recognize the same. But all the institutions that have come from this country since its founding is still not working for us. And if we think about all the ways in which these calls to action are being made, it's about changing the systems. And if we think about the business and the systems of sports, even though individuals have succeeded in this world, it doesn't mean that those systems have changed the fact that they are not built for us. If we think about the NFL, 80%, or I think 70% of players are Black, while in the NBA, it's about 80% of players. And where those players came up through were also very white-dominant institutions that didn't center Black, brown, and other non-white experiences. And so when we think about the dollars that are being funneled into these leagues, the dollars that are going into the pockets of these owners, which are all white, and we think about the dollars that are going into the universities and the booster programs and the athletic departments and the coaches, they're all systems that aren't benefiting the non-dominant majority. But considering the fact that the talent and the labor that supports these institutions is not just majority, it is dominantly Black labor. Again, 70% in the NFL, 80% in the NBA. We need to rethink how we're supporting the institutions that are centering Black, brown, and othered experiences. And starting in the world of sports, we think about how much money goes into these programs. Yes, some of these programs are really storied, like the Dukes and the Texases and the USCs and the UCLAs of the world, or the Ohio States and the Michigan States. There are storied programs, and those are really big draws, but what the main draw is for these Black, brown, and othered athletes is opportunity. And this country has been founded on opportunity, but it hasn't delivered on opportunity in an equal way. But if we think about the fact that there are institutions, there are HBCUs that exist, that center Black and brown and othered experiences, that would be phenomenal places for these athletes and talent and individuals to not only find opportunities within the realm of sport, but also in terms of education, in terms of their personal development, their mental development, their emotional development, their mental health. Those are the institutions and the experiences that we should be investing in. If we think about the wealthiest athletic departments, Texas is at the top. And what Texas gets in annual donations probably is the entire amount that HBCUs get. But if we think about opportunity, if we think about what these programs are really offering all of these athletes that are coming through their doors, and that's opportunity, what creates that opportunity is money, is funding, is resources, is equipment, their beautiful fields, their brand new uniforms, their training programs. They're the top talent in terms of nutritionists and coaches and specialists and experts that can further their opportunity. And if we think about what that would look like if we were to shift those dollars to programs that not only offer the shiny objects in terms of fields, equipment, resources, and uniforms, and even cheer teams, and you offer them that plus a Black and brown centered educational system, mental health support system, an emotional support system, and a student body that reflects their experience, think of how much farther they can go. Imagine a world where what dominates D1 NCAA football are more Jackson States. The fact that Jackson State had Travis Hunter, the #1 recruit in 2022, commit to their program. The fact that they had Shedeur Saunders be the first HBCU player to sign an NIL deal with Gatorade. Imagine that being the norm. Jackson alone has said that they believe Jackson State football or Jackson State University has brought in $30+ million to the economy. Think about what that looks like across all of these towns and cities where HBCUs are centered. if we just start shifting dollars and resources to these programs that are going to invest in Black and brown athletes and students in a far deeper and connected way than any of these other D1 blue chip programs could do, think about how much farther our athletes and our kids and the youth can go. And so right now, with Jackson State being put on the map, they're getting dollars from Walmart. They're getting dollars from Chevy. They're getting dollars from all over the country, from the Fortune 500, as well as they're getting the media attention, which then draws these students and athletes to these schools. And so if we start to shift our thinking around how can we get HBCUs on the same level as some of these D1 NCAA blue chip programs, the way to do that is through shifting our dollars, through shifting our resources, to starting to make the weight rooms look the same as the USCs of the world, starting to invest in the fields to make sure that they look and perform as well as the Ohio States, to make sure that the uniforms that they're getting and the equipment that they're getting and the balls that they're playing with and the training equipment that they have is on par with the Michigans. And so this shift in dollars, starting with sports, will start to bring a whole slew of resources to all other aspects of HBCUs that need this funding. And if we can start to focus on sports, and we can use sports as that lens through which we can start to make that shift in terms of where the dollars are going, how these programs are invested in, and then what these schools are able to do with these athletes, and to show them the opportunity that they have that is going to be that much richer and deeper by going to an HBCU, that's that opportunity to really shift the conversation in terms of systemic and institutional change. And so we hope you'll join us in this effort, and we hope you'll see the value of starting with the NCAA, starting with sports, and starting with HBCUs, and just starting to shift a little bit of those dollars in that direction. And I hope you'll see the exponential impact that that can have in a short amount of time.